achieved since the beginning of this year. It's 6 months already when we said, Happy New Year 2023, my year of greatness, my year of greater things. Now that's the middle of the year. But many people will say that they started off well, but because of this new government policy, the elections, after the election, and now a new president, and so it's really been somehow for a lot of people because of all of these policies. But you can still do well. You can succeed in your business if you have the right principle, if you have the right knowledge, and that is what we are here to give you today. It's the Thursday edition of the program. If you're a regular, you already know that we have the business activator right here every Thursday. He's a business coach. He's John Paul IWUOHA. He's a business coach who has worked with entrepreneurs to fix difficult problems at the startup and growth stages of business. For more than a decade, John Paul has helped dozens of entrepreneurs start new businesses, raise funds, grow sales, optimize business models, and solve human capital and growth problems. His clients are active in industries that range from agribusiness to tech to retail, healthcare, manufacturing, energy, financial services, and different sectors of Nigerian economy. John Paul is alumnus of PwC and qualified as a chartered certified accountant with ACCA. He's a frequent speaker, he's a trainer, he's a judge who's worked with business networks and entrepreneurial focused organization. He's here this morning to talk to us on this topic, why businesses run out of money and how to avoid this problem. Now, we started this topic last week. It's not a series because we need to go very deep into it. Many businesses today are out of money. They are just there running the business. But if you go deep into those businesses, you see that they are running at a loss or just trying to save face. And that has become what many businesses go through now. There's many businesses, that's where they are. So we're going to be looking at the topic. We'll continue from where we stopped last week. So last week, you gave us just one.
One, yes, which is that many businesses are actually not profitable. So because they see cash coming in, they mistake that for we are making money. But like I said last week, there's a big difference between cash and profit. You know, your business can be getting cash. There might be cash coming in and going out, but you're not profitable. What profitable means is that there is going to be money left for you at the end after you've paid your suppliers, your employees, you've paid your rent, you've even paid the taxman. You're going to have something to take home. So, but if there's no profit, what it means is that your business is akin to a leaking bucket. And it's only a matter of time before you actually run out of money. So right now, some businesses realize that this is their situation. For many businesses, by my reckoning, they are not aware that they are running at a loss. They are just looking at the cash. And there's something you said that is quite important. The landscape has changed, particularly the cost structure of many businesses. The cost of fuel has gone up. So for any business that depends on generators or any sort of thing to power their system, it's going to affect their costs. Yeah. If you depend on transportation, either to carry goods to your location or to your customers, it's going to affect your costs. And then we know that this inflation has affected almost every other thing in the economy. So this is a very important time for people who do not understand the cost elements of their business to take that into consideration, because it's very likely going to affect your costs. The second thing is that we're in an environment where people are very sensitive now to price, because the amount of money they used to have in their pockets is no longer enough to carry them for the rest of the month. So people are looking for bargains. So it's not a particularly interesting environment for you to raise your prices. So if you are restricted with how much you can raise your prices, but your costs have gone up, the only person that will pay for that difference is you. And it's likely your profits are suffering. So if you don't know how profitable you are, this will be an important time to take that into consideration. That's what we discussed last week.
Okay.
The second topic I started last week, but I was not able to finish, is a common mistake I notice among startup stage businesses. Remember, there are two categories of businesses that run out of money. It is particularly common among startups. A business starts this year with a lot of excitement and vision and all that, and within 1 or 2 years, they are no longer existing. It happens all the time. In fact, there are some complexes you go into, an office is open 1 year, you come back next year, they cannot renew their rent. It's very common among startup stage businesses. It also happens to businesses that have been around for some time, and that one is more painful. When you've had a business that's been running for 10, 15, 20 years, or even a legacy business that has been run for 1 or 2 generations, and now it's been handed over to you, and now it's failing. Those ones are much more painful because it's a business that's existed for a long time and now it's failing. But the reason I'm about to talk about particularly affects startup stage businesses, people that are about to start a business. So if you're in that category, this would be an important thing to keep in mind. When people want to start businesses, they pay a lot of attention to what is called CapEx. CapEx is called capital expenditure. In layman terms, fixed capital. These are things that tie down money. So for example, you want to start an agriculture business, a poultry. You're thinking of buying land, buying equipment, buying a truck. There's a lot of buying involved. So sometimes when startup businesses start, they spend a lot of money on the CapEx. It's like they spend a lot of money buying the car, but there's not a lot of money left to buy fuel to run the car. So the second part of the capital is your working capital. That is the one that businesses typically run out of, and which is what makes them run out of money. It's your working capital that pays your rent. It's your working capital that pays salaries. It's your working capital that buys diesel for the gen. It's your working capital that you use to pay tax. So running a business actually comes from working capital, because the moment you buy a car or you buy land, that money is tied. It cannot move again. It is non-working capital. But the money that exists in cash that you're using to buy goods and all that, which is working capital, that is the problem that many businesses have. And the moment you go short on working capital, you may have property, you may have assets, you may have trucks, you may have land, you may have buildings, but you don't have cash. And sometimes such businesses go bankrupt. And you'll be surprised, how can a business that has this much property not be able to run itself? And the reason is that they have run out of working capital. And once you run out of working capital, the game is up. There are a couple of options. Many banks now, particularly the commercial banks, they focus on giving working capital loans. They come by all sorts of names. They can call it a revolving loan. It's commonly known as an overdraft. Sometimes they call it advance. They give you an advance so that you can pay your suppliers and all that. And then they take it back from your revenues when inflows come back into your account. So this is a particularly important point for people who are starting a business. What is important for the business? The number one priority for any startup business is to make sales, right? So if you are paying people to do branding for you, you're investing a lot of money in building an app or a top-notch website, you're trying to get money to buy a solid car because you say it's good for the perception, all those things are not going to make sales for you. And what is worse is that they are tying down money. For a startup business, because there's a lot of uncertainty, you don't know how much sales you're going to make. It's important that you hold enough working capital to carry you along the journey. So to keep this very simple to people, when you're starting a business, don't spend too much money buying the car. Remember to reserve money to buy fuel for the car. Because a car, no matter how beautiful it is, if it does not have fuel inside of it, it doesn't have any value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's settle this once and for all. They said new business owners that it's not good for you to borrow money to start your business. At what point can you borrow money to do your business? Now I'm a business owner. I have properties because I need these things for my business. Okay, I've bought a land. I've bought cars. Maybe a car, 1 or 2, because I need these things. Can I borrow money from the bank? Since I know that banks have this, they have some packages to give business owners to run their business. Is it encouraging? Would you encourage a new business to take loan?
That's a fantastic question, and it's a common mistake that startup businesses make: borrowing money to start a business. Now, it's not entirely wrong, and it's not entirely good. Let me explain. What will determine if you can take a loan is the terms of the loan. So you use an example, banks. Because when people think of loans, they typically think of the banks. The terms of a loan that you get from a bank in Nigeria do not entirely help the situation of a startup business. The primary difficulty of a loan is that the person who gave you that loan expects you to start paying back the loan either immediately or in 3 months' time or 6 months' time. Now, the problem is you started a business, you have all that excitement, the vision, you're very optimistic. But the thing about a startup business is that it hits you with reality. You might not sell as much as you think you're going to sell. You might not make as much profit as you think you're going to make. So because there's uncertainty, taking a loan doesn't make sense, because the person who has given you that loan requires payments, and those payments are certain and they are tied to certain timelines. And if you don't meet the timelines, there are penalties. So what I typically advise is, now that's the first mistake, the terms of the loan. The second mistake is that you take a loan to start a business and you invest most of it in capex. You spend it on the land, on the building, on the car, and things like that. Now, the problem with these things is that they do not generate money by themselves, right? You actually need the working capital that will make the business work. So what I typically advise is that if you're already a business that is running and what you require is working capital, the first place to start is you need to know what kind of capital you want. And what type of capital you want is determined by what you're going to use that money for. If you need working capital loan, it is easier. It is better for you to go with a loan because it's working capital. It is money that will help you make sales and keep the business running. You can pay back that kind of loan. But if you're going to use the money for capex to buy assets, it becomes more difficult for somebody that runs a business. Now, the other thing I have to say is that when people give you a loan, they insist that it is collateralized. By collateralized means you have to bring property or collateral, a non-movable property that you can use to secure that loan. The reason they do that is that because startup businesses are risky, if you're unable to pay back that money, they will have to recover their money by selling the asset. But there are other intelligent ways of doing it. You can insist for on a hybrid, for example. There are things that are called convertible notes. So it's a type of loan that says, you're starting a business, it's very risky. I don't want to give you equity. Because you know what equity means is that if your business does not succeed, I lose my money. I will only make money if you make money. So the way the money is given is, it's a convertible note. I'm not giving you this money as equity, I'm giving it to you as a loan, right? But if this your business succeeds, I don't want you to pay me back that's my money as a loan. I want you to convert it into equity if your business succeeds. But if your business doesn't succeed, it is a loan. It remains a loan. You must pay it back. So what this does is that pressure to start paying back money is not there, because the person wants to benefit from when you win, and then if you don't win, they also want to get their money back. So that's essentially what the explanation is. If you're starting a business that is uncertain, don't touch a loan, because a loan means that you must pay back. It's certain. You should be looking forward towards equity or grants if you're doing something that is uncertain. But if you've been running a business, you know the cycle of the business, you know how much money you make, you know your profits, you know how the cash flows go. There's a lot of certainty. You should go for a loan at that point. So the more certain what you want to use the money for is, the less risky it is, the more you should go for a loan. That's what it is.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Now we're discussing why business run out of money, in case you're just tuning in, and how to fix it. If your business is running out of money, this is how you can fix it. Just keep listening. Now, you have a business that you have invested, let's say 3 million into this business, and you are doing the business very well according to you. And then you're looking at your account and you see that the money, things are not adding up. And you look at all the things you've bought, you calculate everything is not adding up. I want to know what can sip money from your business without you knowing. Okay, so it's a good question that's more or less, which is leakages in a business, right? Now, sometimes there are unintentional leakages, and then there are, the intentional ones. So to use an example, when using what you've just said now, that I check everything that I've spent and it's still not adding up, there are profits that I'm not getting. What most business owners look at is the direct cost of running their business. They look at, okay, I bought goods, I bought diesel for the gen, I paid salary. Some of those things are direct. You can tie it to the business. But there are indirect costs, or things you may call overheads, that on the ordinary, they may not look like they concern your business, but it is supposed to be part of what you are doing. So most times, people do not separate what their business owns from what they own. So the account is our account. Anything you want to pay, you just take from the account. You want to pay school fees, you want to pay rent for your own house, not for the office, you take from the
from the business, from the till, right? All those things will eventually amount to confusion because you don't know which one relates to your business and you don't know which expenses relate to you yourself. So at that point, you're a burden on the business and we cannot really separate these things. So what I typically advise my students and my clients is that your business is an independent entity, especially if you have registered the company. That XYZ Limited or that XYZ Ventures is a separate entity from yourself. The account that that business has is separate from what you are, even as CEO. You don't have a right to interfere in the privacy of that business. If you want to take money, you can either call it a loan from the business to you, or you can call it a salary. But there's nothing like you're just drawing money from the account. You have two relationships with your business. As an owner, you're a shareholder. You are entitled to a share of the profits and control of the assets. The second relationship you have with your business is that you are an employee in the business. You actually work for the business, albeit as CEO. So through those relationships, those are the only ways that the business can reward you. A third relationship you can have with your business is to be a lender to your business, either a debtor or a creditor to your business, where your business is lending you money or you are lending money to the business. And in terms of tax planning and a lot of other things I don't want to go into, they're a bit more complex. There are a lot of advantages here that business owners are not using, which means that at the end of the day, for example, they may pay more tax than they should, or at the end of the day, they don't even have any money in their pockets. So as CEO, as owner of the business, the only time you can take money is when the business makes profit. So if you own 100% of the business, 100% of the profit belongs to you. That's the first relationship as owner. As an employee, the business needs to pay you a salary. You are entitled to a salary. As long as you're investing your time, effort, and energy into that business, you deserve a salary. That the business cannot afford to pay you a salary is out of the question. So one thing you can do, for example, some people are slaving in their business and they are not getting paid a salary. And the reason is that the business cannot afford it. We're not making any profits. What you should do is that you need to claim those profits. As in, it needs to be that the business is owing you money. Salaries not paid. Because imagine if you hired somebody and you cannot afford to pay them a salary, you're owing them money. Yes. They can take you to court, or what do is that imagine you are accruing all these salaries that the business is not paying you. And in the future, somebody wants to buy your company or invest in your company. And they're asking you how much percent of this company do you own? And you say 50% or 70% or 100%, right? That's where the negotiations will start. But imagine if you say I own 100% of this company, but the company is also owing me 5 million naira in arrears, right? Yeah. So these are now two different opportunities you have to reap from the business rather than cutting yourself short. There's nothing like working free for a business. The business owes you money. Then the third one I talked about is if you are taking money, you should take it that the business is lending you money. And that money at some point may have to be paid back, either in cash or in equity. So these are different flavors that you can look at in terms of taking money out of a business. The other way is leakages through fraud and theft. And there are all kinds of people that can steal from your business. Your employees can steal from you. Your customers can steal from you. Your suppliers can steal from you. Your distributors can steal from you. Your contractors can steal from you. But you cannot know if somebody is stealing from you if you are not measuring. So you cannot monitor what you don't measure. So I see a lot of people saying, I have this feeling that my people are stealing from me, but I cannot prove it. I've heard it a lot. I have this feeling that they are stealing from me. Something is leaving my business, but I cannot prove it. Now, the reason why you cannot prove it is that you're not measuring it. And sometimes CCTV might help, but it might not be the entire story, because not all stealing is physical. Right? Some of them can come from manipulation of figures. Some of them can be digital stealing. CCTV can capture that. Right? Especially in this era of the digital age where a lot of transactions are happening virtually. What will CCTV do? Right? So it's only CCTV can help in situations where the leakage or theft is physical. But what do you do about the virtual theft? And this now brings us to a different conversation around systems. Many businesses are running, they are good with making sales, money is coming in and money is going out, but there's no system for tracking or measuring what is coming in and what is going out. We are just doing it the same old way. You want to pay supplier, you ask, Bola, is there cash? You say, sir, there's cash. Okay, count 1 million, pay this person. But how much did you make last quarter? How much did you make last year? We don't know. We're just working on the basis of cash. So in such environments, remember one of the earlier sessions I had on this station was around fraud and how to detect. You remember that session very well? Yes. So if you're not looking in such an environment, any employee who is looking sees a strong motivation to steal, because who will catch me? Oga is not watching. Oga doesn't even know. I'm the one who has all the numbers. Oga doesn't even know how much you are making. If I don't tell Oga, Oga will not know. In that kind of environment, you are actually empowering people to take advantage of the system. So there are no proper controls. You are not measuring anything. You are not auditing anything. You are not tracking anything. So of course, definitely things will go. And there have been businesses that have been brought down by this kind of leakage. Just stealing here and there, theft here and there, and before you know what's happening, there's nothing left. Yeah.
Now, we have talked so much about why businesses run out of money. We still have many things to talk about as regard this topic.
Yeah.
Another thing is a revenue problem. Because business can be running out of money because they are not generating enough revenue
to cover their costs.
Yes, you have everything on ground, you have the structure, you have the manpower, but you're not generating enough. So you have a revenue problem. So
yes.
I would like to know how you can overcome that and generate enough money, generate money even now when people are cutting back on a lot of things. But we need to go pay some bills. When we come back, we will look at that topic. And the phone lines will be open. We'll open it on time today so that you can call in and ask your questions. So keep it here. Don't change the dial. We'll be back after this.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less. The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and Coldberry ice cream, delight in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and Coldberry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, Festac Town, 28 Adenira Ogusanya Street, Surulere, 13 Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and Coldberry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions.
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at BOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. BOP TV, show up, speak up.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42, Muritala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop-off from the Lagos Airport.
Take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant.
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So, why wait? Book your stay today stay and experience ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
To succeed in business, you have to be a good negotiator. Negotiation helps you get good deals with your customers, with employees, with your suppliers, with investors, and even with the banks. So one important rule of negotiation is to know when to walk away from a bad deal. So don't invest your ego or emotions in a negotiation. Always have a backup plan and identify other alternatives in advance. So be sure about what you're not willing to lose and know when to walk away from a bad deal. My name is John Paul IWUOHA. Join me on VOP 90.3 FM every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. to learn more insights and strategies that will help you build a successful business.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM is 4 minutes, no 5. We just got to 5 minutes now past 10. You're listening to Business Around Town. I have with me John Paul IWUOHA. He's my guest on the program. He's a business activator, and we are talking about why businesses run out of money. That's the issue we are dissecting right now. So you can be part of the conversation by simply calling on 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. When you call in, you can ask questions, you can consult for free. So if you having a business challenge, your business needs overhauling or need a boost or you need advice, you can call in and ask your question. John Paul will answer your question. Now, before we went on the break, I was talking about the revenue problem. That the reason why some businesses, they are running out of money, they don't have money, is because they are not generating enough revenue. Now the question, how can you generate revenue in hardship, a period where people are cutting back? They are cutting back on things that are not their needs. And you want to generate revenue.
Even though that question is more of a sales question, and the approach we have taken to the topic is, how do we hold more of what we have, which is the case of a leaking bucket. Like I told you during the break, that this is a clear case of, you have a business, which is the bucket, you have money coming into the business from customers, but your bucket is leaking. So right now we're saying, if you don't fix that leak, your bucket will run out of water, which is your business will run out of money. So all this while we've been focused on, how do we fix the leak in the bucket so that we can retain what we have. Now, asking how we can improve revenue is like saying, forget about this leak. Let's see how we can increase the tap to make it run more, so that the more the tap is running, the more our bucket is filling up. Even though it's leaking, our bucket is still full, which unfortunately is how many businesses in the SME category are run. They don't really care about the leaks in their business, because guess what? Business is good. Business is booming. The owner wants to buy a car, there's money to buy the car. The owner wants to send his kids abroad, there's money to send the kids. So there's no focus on plugging the leaks in the bucket, because the tap is flowing. Now that the economy is crunching and buying power has been affected, I don't think it's a relevant focus to say, let us focus on increasing the tap. Because right now the tap has issues. The Nigerian economy and the consumers within it, are pained. Their pockets are pinching. So it will not make sense to say, let us increase this tap and squeeze out more sales when there is actually a leak in the business. Because right now, every person is trying to squeeze out as much as they can from their consumers. But if you are not holding enough in your pocket, you may not be able to last for long. Why? One of the biggest pressures now is in the labor side. Employees are complaining. There's a lot of grudging within the employee community, if you are listening to your employees, because getting to work now is no longer easy. They spend more on transport. The cost of food has risen. So if you have not increased salary, you may not hold all your people until the end of this year and next year. You have to do something about it. Because many people are showing up at work now with a frown on their face. There's no joy because, things are hard. So you would have to increase the cost. So your costs are rising. So it makes sense that you have to look for the leaks in the business and plug them, because it's a cost problem. It's no longer a sales problem. Even if you generate more sales, in terms of your economic cycle, this is not the time you will say it's a boom period. This is a hard time that you have to hold on to what you have. Yeah. That's essentially what it is. So what I'm saying is, when we have the time to discuss sales, I will discuss sales. But like I said, in the Nigerian environment, people are so focused on sales, what they can bring in, but they don't pay enough attention to what they are holding down. There's a lot of leakages going out, either because they are not making profits or there are other sorts of leaks in their business that need to be fixed.
Okay, good. And now let's start taking some questions from you. Remember, the numbers is 0700 for WhatsApp message. Your WhatsApp message, send it to us on 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. That is the number for your WhatsApp, to send in your WhatsApp messages. Now, okay, let me take the message here. The first one from, let's see. Okay, the first one here is from Ngozi. Ngozi says, good morning to you, Mary, and to your guests. Thank you for the program that you're doing. I enjoy this topic. Now, my question is this. I own a spa in Mafuluku area of Lagos. I've been doing this spa now for 2 years. I learned for about 3 years before I opened mine. I've been doing it for 2 years now. I can say it's a profitable business, but at the moment, I'm not getting the client that I used to get. So my business is running on a very low. That's what you said, running very low, and I might close shop soon. Do you have any remedy for me? She has a spa.
Okay, so the customers she used to have, it's very likely either of two things have happened to them. It's either they are going to another spa or they are no longer using spa services. So right now, other things have taken priority in their lives. They need to feed, they need to look after their kids, they need to pay rent. Spa can wait. Those are the two likely things that may have happened to them. So in the first case of going to somebody else, if what has happened is that her customers have gone to somebody else, why is that other option attractive to them and not her? So it could be price, it could be what she's offering, or whatever it is. Remember, these two options I've mentioned, she needs to first find out why her customers are not coming. So I want to assume, for example, that when the going was good, she had her customer information, and right now she can reach her customers. She can call them on the phone and ask, Madam, I've not seen you in a while. Is there something wrong? And find out what exactly is going on. But like I've said, it's likely one of two things. It's likely they've moved on to other providers, or they are no longer taking spa services. If what has happened is that they are no longer taking spa services and it's no longer important to them, then it's important that she reframes the value that she's offering. In my head, when I think of spa, I think of beauty, right? I just want to look better and all that. But spa can also be reframed in the realm of health, right? And, the way people treat those two things are different. When things are hard, you may skimp on your beauty stuff, but people may unlikely play with their health. If it is health, it becomes a need. If it is beauty, it is a want. And we always prioritize our needs over our wants. So is there some way she can play the spa thing to be like, we actually offer anything around pain, making you feel better, making you feel more confident, and take it more away from the beauty side and make it, more health. So those are likely of the two options. But like I said, we don't know what we're dealing with until she finds out why most of our customers are no longer coming. Yeah.
Now she needs to change the narrative of her business, change the story. Instead of just coming to relax at your spa, tell them you're coming to ease your pain.
It's wellness and health.
Yeah,
because that's another way. Yeah, wellness and health.
People will
take it more seriously than when it's just a spa and they think it's a luxury. This is not luxury. For you to perform better, you need to feel well. And we do something about helping you feeling better about yourself. Yeah, so.
Okay, good. 0700 903 9039, 0700 903 9039. 903. That's the number to call. Call in now, ask your questions concerning your business, or you can send a WhatsApp message. Another one here says, good morning to you, Mr. John Paul. I appreciate you for all you're doing. I like listening to you. Now, for the loan that you spoke about, I really want to get a loan for my business. My business is regular now. I've been doing the business for 1 year. I know how much I make every month, and I've been keeping my books. I'm always afraid to collect loan because I feel that that might be the end of my business because of what I've heard from many people. But I also need to expand the business. It's been profitable for 1 year. I'm in a good location. So how can I go about receiving loan and being able to pay back the loan?
Okay, good question. It's a timely one because I'm actually in the middle of a transaction advising one of my clients on, taking a big amount. And the two options were clear. It's either you go to the bank or you do a more informal loan option. Let me explain the two. When you go to a bank, the bank is the one drafting the contract. They tell you these are our terms. You either take it or leave it. That's the way it works with commercial banks. And usually they will tell you what the interest rate is that you must pay. You don't have an option because they are the ones who are crafting the contract. They tell you when you should pay and the terms of the loan. Now, for some businesses, that may make sense, particularly if you are taking a working capital loan. Now, if it's a working capital loan you want to take from the bank, the way they charge you is they might give you a revolving fund of 5 million naira. And they are charging you an interest rate of, let's say, 25%. What happens is they will only charge you interest on the amount you take out of that 5 million naira they've given you. So if you only use 2 million, they will only charge you interest on 2 million. If you use 3 million, they will charge you interest on 3 million. If you pay back 2 million and you're still owing 1 million, they only charge you interest on the amount you have used. So it's a useful product because you only pay for what you use for a revolving loan. But if you get a term loan from a bank and they give you 5 million, what they will tell you is take this 5 million and you get it as an alert in your account. Meanwhile, the revolving loan is not a cash they are giving to you. It's just that your account can go below zero and go to minus 5 million. That's what a revolving loan is. But if it's a term loan, you actually get an alert in your account from the bank giving you the 5 million. And you take that 5 million and do whatever it is you want to do with that 5 million. The problem is whether you use that money or you don't use that money, they might be asking you to pay 200,000 naira a month, 250, 150, whatever the terms are. So whether you're using that money and whether that money is productive or not, you must be paying back money to the account. So these are the two main products you are going to get from commercial banks. And like I said, the bank writes the rules. The second option is where you have the option to write the rules. So right now in the economy, people have limited options to preserve their capital. If you put money in a savings account, you're getting 5% or less. The stock market, we don't know where that is now. What other option do you have? You can tie down your money in real estate. It's not very liquid and you have to wait. So there are limited options for anybody who wants to either preserve their capital or make more money, as in invest. So you can then present yourself as an investment option to say, look at the stock market, look at savings account, look at fixed deposits, look at real estate, all these other options. I've been running this business for the past 3 years. These are my profits for the last 3 years. In fact, it will help if it's something audited, which means a third-party accountant has said, we've looked at the books and they are correct. These are my bank statements. These are the profits I made for the last 3 years. Right now, I'm looking for 10 million naira, and these are my terms. Because in the informal one, you write the rules. You say my terms are fixed deposit right now will pay you 5-7%. I'm going to pay you 15%. And the way it's going to work is you give me the 10 million. I will pay you back this 10 million after 2 years. But every quarter, I will pay you the interest portion. You get what's happening here now? A bank will write the rules and tell you how you must pay them the more. But in this time, you are saying you are creating something that works for your business. I want to take a loan from 10 million. I will pay you back at the end of 2 years. But every quarter, you will get your interest payment. So, and this is a very, it's a desirable option for people who are looking for options to keep their money or to make passive income. Because whether you like it or not, any business that is doing well in this economy is an investment opportunity. There are people who want to start a business, they don't have the time or the money or the energy, but they would like to invest in somebody's business that is working. And a loan is good because these people will not come and tell you how to run your business. Unlike equity, they don't have to sit on your board or belong to your executive committee. You write the terms. If they like it, they take that option and you keep your word. Why I'm saying this with so much confidence, I've seen it work several times, right? If you keep your word and you pay back interest, what usually happens is after 2 years, those people start asking you, do you need more money? I've seen people within Nigeria that are raising money for their business without going to the banks, and they're using this option. It's a mixture of using your social capital as your financial capital and keeping your word, being a trusted person. If you pay the interest the way you promised and you return the principal the way you promised, this will not only keep bringing money to you, but they will get other people to invest in your business. So that's essentially what I'm going to advise him to do. You can go to the banks. I've told you what the options are. You can do the informal private capital option. These are what the options are. Yeah.
Okay. More questions are coming in. You can also call. You could call in and speak to us 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call in and ask your questions. Free consultation, or send in a WhatsApp message to 0700 903 9039. Now, this is from Choma. Choma says, good morning to you, sir. Mine is a consultation. I am into the sales of food item. I sell food ingredients, blended crayfish, blended pepper, blended things. I blend ginger, I blend garlic, and I package it and I sell. I've been doing this for a while now. Though it's profitable. I don't have a NAFDAC number yet, but I see people buying from me. I would like to establish my business and make it a standard one so that I can put my product in the supermarket. But what drives me is not the profit. I'm not making so much profit from this business. For example, if I buy spices of 50,000 naira, my gain usually is between 80,000. That is 30,000 naira as profit. But if I remove my transport fare, what I recover is small. But what keeps me going is the prospect that in future I'll be able to sell my product in different supermarkets. But my fear is when I go to this supermarket, I see a lot of these products in the supermarket. They're already there. So I don't know if I can still make it. I'm afraid, but I'm very good with this spice thing. How do I now get big, stand out, and make good progress with my business? Please help me. Okay.
So it's an interesting option. It's an interesting question, and somehow it leans on a previous topic we talked about, how to compete in a crowded or competitive market, right? Yes. Now, it's a good thing that she's selling something that people want to buy. That she goes to the supermarket and sees shelves filled with similar products.
Already selling.
Yeah, people who are already selling. Now, she needs to remember, let me address the first question she asked. If the supermarkets are already taking your products, don't create a problem that doesn't yet exist. So, for example, a problem that doesn't yet exist is that she tries to sell her product and they tell her, no, we cannot accept your product because it doesn't have the NAFDAC number. That problem, from what she said, doesn't yet exist, right? There's no point creating that problem before it exists. When the problem shows up, then you solve it. But what I would even say is that let us hope that when the problem shows up, she has enough money to solve that problem. So right now, her focus should be on accumulating as much capital as possible because there is a fight ahead or there is a bridge ahead. That bridge is moving into a more formalized business, getting her NAFDAC number. And to get that NAFDAC number requires money, right? She needs to be sure that by the time she gets to that bridge, she has accumulated enough capital to do that. So what I would say she should do now is just focus on the distribution. Any supermarket that will accept your products, you keep going with expanding distribution. When you see products on a shelf, it doesn't mean that they are entirely the same. There are different factors at play. Those products on the shelf have different prices, right? Yes. You don't know what the other person has spent on packaging, and any more packaged product will likely be more expensive than her own. So the market, the consumers that more packaged product is targeting is different from who she's targeting. From what she has said, she needs to position herself for the bargain hunters. People who just want to buy crayfish and not packaging. People want to buy spices and not packaging. They want to pay more for the spices than the packaging. So she can focus, she can position herself as the lower price option, as the affordable option. That is one way to look at that. The second option is that supermarkets also have the problem with suppliers of when the stock is out, The suppliers are not there to replenish stock on time. That's a common problem that she can face. She can differentiate herself by being a reliable supplier. The kind of supplier who makes sure that the moment they call her, she always has produce. She doesn't even keep waiting for the supermarket to call her to come and replenish. Sometimes you go to a supermarket and the shelf is empty. And because the supermarket really doesn't have the incentive to call the supplier, the product is out of stock. And remember what out of stock means for your consumers. You are breaking their habits. And while you are out of stock, they will discover somebody else. And there's no guarantee that they will come back to you when that happens. So like I've said, she has I've said three different things here. Yeah. She's afraid of a problem that has not yet come, but she can prepare for that problem. Just keep accumulating capital. The second thing is, don't be afraid that there are other people who are selling what you are selling. A crowded market can be an opportunity. Look at what all those other people are doing and differentiate yourself. From what I've said so far, two ways. You can be the most affordable option because you are doing more products and less packaging. So those people who just want to buy an affordable packed spice without too much razzmatazz on the packaging can come with her. Then she can be a more reliable supplier to those supermarkets that want to carry her product.
Okay, now to round off the conversation, because we have a minute before we round off this morning, what is your takeaway in all of this that we have discussed today? Although we did not exhaust it.
Yes, we did not. My takeaway in summary.
For all that have been discussed.
For all that has been discussed.
Yes, the points you gave.
Yes, for all that has been discussed is that, like I said, a business is like a bucket filling up with water. The water is money coming into your business from your customers. We focus too much on water coming into the bucket. The problem is that many buckets are leaking. Many businesses are leaking, either because they are not profitable or because there's more money going out than is coming in. The economy is biting. So what it means is that the water coming from the tap is going to reduce. Everybody should learn how to patch their leaks, because the more you get better at patching your leaks, the likely it is that you're going to survive. But many businesses that will run out of money and crash will largely be because they could not fix the leaks in their businesses. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll be speaking with John Paul IWUOHA. He's a business activator at the program Business Around Town. I'll be here again tomorrow, Friday, for another edition of the program. And next week, Thursday, we'll be having the business coach right here, John Paul IWUOHA, will be here again next week, Thursday. Now, if you have more questions, and because of time, we could not answer the question, you could carry it to our YouTube. Carry your question. Go to our YouTube. Put it there on the comment section of the YouTube. You'll get answers to your questions. So go to our YouTube right now, Voice of the People 90.3 FM, VOP 90.3 FM. Go to YouTube. Check Business Around Town. You will see us there. You see the video. You could listen to the part 1. This is the part 2. And then leave your questions there. It will be answered by John Paul IWUOHA. Thank you so very much.
Thank you
for coming on board today.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Coming up next is another interesting program. We call it Area Matter. Keep it here. We are the Voice of the People, 90.3 FM.